And welcome to another very exciting episode of Locker Room on Voice of the People TV. I'm Ikechukwu Aguagu. Today promises to be another very interesting episode of the show. And of course, if this is your very first time, I say welcome to the show where you get everything as regards football, where we break down strategies and of course we talk about tactics and everything that happens before a game and after a game, and of course within a game as well. We bring it all down to you right here on Locker Room. And I will not be doing this alone. I'll be in the studio with Jerry Apelohai, and hopefully my wife joins us very well later in the course of action. Jerry, good evening and welcome to the Locker Room.
Yeah, good evening, Ikechukwu. So much to talk about in the exciting world of football, and of course the Premier League. Usually we'll be having games today, and as well as tomorrow. So, and we also look forward to the elaborate list being unveiled by the NFF ahead of the African Cup of Nations, while other countries have already started doing theirs. We hope that Nigeria will do the needful, and let's see how it pans out on Locker Room.
And of course, like I said, if this is your very first time to be part of the Locker Room, all you need to do if you want to have a voice or have a say in this conversation, drop a message on our YouTube platform, or you can call via the number on your screen. And do not also forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube platform. And most importantly, hit that notification bell so you don't get to miss any episode of our show right here on Voice of the People TV. And of course, Jerry, a lot is happening in the world of football, and one of the biggest is the fact that the Nigerian Football Federation has actually come out to say, Eric Chell, anything short of semi-final is a failure. Do you agree with the NFF?
Yeah, anything short of the semi-final should be a realistic target if the NFF is a serious entity. And take a look at the team right now. Eric Chell has proven to be a decent coach, but not that top-class manager. And he will be doing everything possible to save his job. And of course, it's good to give any coach going into a competition like the Afcon Cup of Nations a target, because you will not want it to go to the Afcon and not know that he has a target to get to the semi-final. And I think they should have done better in saying, go there and win the trophy. I think semi-final is like shooting yourself, bringing, how would I say, a team that made it to the final the last time, you are giving a semi-final target. That means you are telling him that he can go ahead and win the bronze and nothing is wrong, nothing is bad. I think semi-final is rather poor for me. It should be get to the final and try as much as possible to win it, because Nigerians are not happy that we did not go to the World Cup. We are not going to the World Cup. So therefore, go out there and win the Afcon. And of course, we all know that this NFF board is living on borrowed time. The clock is ticking towards the next general elections. Nigerians are waiting for Goso and Co to leave the board so that others who are serious as far as football administration is concerned can come in. But of course, we all know the situation. It's a pretty difficult situation to find somebody who is credible making it to the NFF president, except a presidential order anoints such a person, which is not supposed to be. Democracy is now becoming a joke as far as Nigeria is concerned and Africa.
Okay, so let's look at the chance of the Super Eagles making it to the semi-finals. I mean, let's look also at the current realities of the Super Eagles. We didn't make it to the World Cup, but then we're having a conversation where other teams are actually dropping their lists for the Afcon Championship in Rabat. Now we're having a 55-man list as at now, which means we still have to trim it down to around 28 and then to the final squad. Jerry, let's do an overview of that 55-man list. A lot of people have been talking about it. Let's trim it down ourselves now to around 30 man before officially we get to see whatever it is the number is going to be reduced to. Let's do from goalkeeper. Let's reduce the numbers. We're definitely going to be looking at 3 goalkeepers, and then we'll look at 6 defenders, and then 7 midfielders, and let's look at also about let's look at 10 midfielders, and let's also look at let's look at 10 per department. 3 goalkeepers. Let's say 33. 3 goalkeepers, 10 midfielders, 10 defenders, and of course 10 attackers. Let's start trimming down.
Yeah, if you look at the 55-man list officially released by the NFF, it's even 54 because there's a 50-man list and 4 extra in case there's injuries prior to when they want to trim it down to 33.
Like they always do standby players for every championship.
There's a 4-man standby on that roster. And of course, for the goalkeepers, there's Stanley Nwabali, Amas Obasojo, who currently plays in the Tanzania League. There's also Maduka Okoye, Adebayo, Adeleye, who plays for Volos FC in Greece, and of course Francis Uzor of
Also part of
Omonia.
it. So let's trim that to three. Your best three.
The best three will always be Stanley Wambali, Maduka Okoye, and maybe for the sake of having an home-based player or somebody who has been there. I think Adebayo Adeleye will do it for me.
I think it was part of the Chan thing before actually eventually made that move.
Unfortunately, Ebenezer Harcourt will have to wait for his time because though I know you are his proponent, his major PR person who has been pushing him.
No, I mean, Jerry, we've seen fantastic players, very young, Lamine Yamal, 18, doing it, Estaval, 18, doing it.
He's not in the Yamal category.
No, Jerry, come on. Every player, some players don't even start this early. There are certain persons that are regarded as, early bloomers. Yes, and of course, these are the kind of players you want to say they are early bloomers. If I have a 15 years old that's actually doing very well, for the national team, it means we have nothing less than over 20 years to enjoy him for the national team. Take, for example, Gigi Donnarumma. He started, quite early. I think it was about 19 or 20 when he got into the Azuri national team. And he's 26 today, still doing so well. So, I mean, we still know that even as he stands now, he still got about 10 years to still be part of, the national team setup because, of course, Italians know really how to manage, their age players. But, again, let's move straight to the defense.
Yeah, for the defense lineup, I'm surprised that Chustekong still makes the cut.
After his retirement.
He's not official yet. He's just told his fellow teammates that he's going to resign. He has not officially made a comment that he has officially resigned. This was what he said to his fellow players.
But the thing is, when he made that statement, right, I want to believe that people within the glass house, people who within
the glass house has refused to accept it. They've not accepted this. They said
the coaching crew,
he should do it officially. Even the coach does not want him to retire yet. The coach wants him.
Not like I want him to retire, but I'm looking at the fact that
he has not done it officially. He has just made the pronouncement to his players. Since we qualify, will come retire.
Okay,
so just come and motivate you.
So let's run through.
So he's on the provisional list, and there's Olalu Aina, Calvin Bassey, Shemi Ajayi, Bright Oshai Samuel, Bruno Oyemachi, and of course Chidozie Awazem, Zaidu Senusi, Igor Ogbu for Slavia Prague in Czech Republic. There's Felix Agu, who I'm surprised. Maybe he has told them that he will be fit and ready eventually.
But it's obvious that Felix Agu will be returning in January.
Yeah.
So this calls for question. Perhaps this list has been there before the Afcon statement came up.
Maybe the plan is to still bring him in, and gradually he will return to fitness ahead of January.
Let's now narrow it down. Jerry, right back, 2 players. Let's get 2 players for you.
There's a certain name that's really interesting. There's a certain Ryan Alebiosu.
Yes.
He plays for Blackburn Rovers.
A centre back.
Yeah, he's a centre back, and there's Adekule Adeleke of Abia Warriors. Those are the defenders in the lineup, and of course, these are usual suspects. Apart from the names we've just mentioned, like Ryan and Adekule Adeleke.
Let's take 2 right back, 2 left back, 4 centre back.
Yeah, Devlin Olaino is going to go there.
Olaino
as a right back. Then Bright Oshai Samuel for me.
Ahead of Chidozie Awazem.
Ahead of Chidozie Awazem anytime.
All right. Then left back.
Then left back, Bruno Yemachi and Zaidu Sanusi, definitely.
Okay.
Those 2 parents are on bench.
And in the heart of the defense?
Yeah, then the heart of defense, Ekong, Calvin Bassey, Shemi Ajayi, and Igor Ogbu.
Igor Ogbu, Alebiosu?
Yes. Then Ryan Alebiosu. Yeah, I think that would be a good pairing.
But that's over 4. We're looking at 4.
Yeah, I think they would have to do 5 because the defense, Ekong, if he picks a knock at his age, he might not be able to come back on time. I think I would like them to have more centre backs because there's no Benjamin Frederick right now, which is pretty dicey situation. William Chustekong is 50-50.
So let's look at the midfield.
Yeah, in the midfield, we have Alexi Wobi. A lot of questions have been asked about him. There's Frank Oyeka, Frank the Tank, Alassane Yusuf, Wilfred Ndidi, Rafael Onyedika, Chris Santos Uche, Tochukwu Nandi, who plays for Zotwaregem in Belgium. I've not really seen him. And of course, Rafael Onyedika and Tochukwu Nandi, Fisayodele Bashiru, Ebenezer Akinsamiro, who's been talked about. And there's Usman Mohammed of Irani Tiberias in Israel. There's Peter Agba of Maccabi Haifa in Israel. And there's Tom Dele Bashiru. It looks like the Bashirus are here today. He plays in Turkey for Geslen Bergli. So
So how would you want Eric Chef to line the midfield? Four-man flat or three-man double pivot? How would you want him to play? Five-man midfield?
Because he would like to play in who's the captain. I think I would like him to have a two defensive midfielder to assist
two base.
To assist with the someone like either Frank Onyeka or definitely Rafa Odika is my pick.
Okay.
He's always my pick because he can multitask. As a central midfielder, defensive midfielder, he can also contribute goals, which is very fantastic for any midfielder. Then Alex will be unavoidably because he's the only man that looks like someone who can run through that 10, except there's going to be a plan to bring in Samuel Chukwueze in the 10. We saw him fantastically for Fulham over the weekend. He was the man of the match in that game. I would like the coach to do something to him, the way he played the Fulham. I hope the coach will watch that game and see what he's doing different and maybe bring that setup into the.
Alex Iwobi is another different player when he puts on that Fulham jersey. I also want to believe that Eric will definitely be seeing this game tonight, Fulham against Manchester City. Maybe he's going to also pick something from what Thomas Frank will be doing with the team. But Jerry, now the midfield, you said three-man midfield.
Yeah.
So let's take your total. You've mentioned the first pair of legs: Alex Iwobi, Ndidi, and let's say Rafael Onyeka, right? And now let's take another another three to make it six.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to see Fisayo Dele-Bashiru. He's doing well for himself with Lazio in Italy. And of course, Ebenezer Akinsamiro, because I want to see something fresh. And Fisayo Suchi has not really done anything.
The tank?
Frank Onyeka, definitely. We're going to take him. Then Alassane, Yusuf Abdullahi.
You want to take 4 additional, that's 7 in the midfield?
7. I can drop Alassane Yusuf. That would be good. I'll be good. Yeah, definitely. Alassane Yusuf can sit on the bench or can stay away. Or maybe if he's going to be on standby in case there's any injury prior to the competition then. But I think I'm good with that.
All right, so let's look at the attack because that's where Nigeria's headache has been. You recall that yesterday it was at the Istanbul derby where Fenerbahce came up against Galatasaray. It ended 1-1. And Victor Osimhen actually played in that particular game. I mean, the same Osimhen that the club told us that wouldn't be part of the Nigeria's friendly games. And of course, perhaps it's going to miss some of our crucial games, in the group stage. And somehow, before that particular friendly, he's actually playing against Fenerbahce in that particular derby. I mean, now it's obvious that he's fit, maybe not 100%, but he can actually play a competitive game. Right, Jerry?
Yeah.
So now let's look at our attack. What does it say?
Yeah, Ademola Lookman, who's been on form for me. And there's also Samuel Chukwueze, Victor Osimhen, Moses Simon, Chidera Ejuke, Tolu Arokodare, very interesting name there. And of course, there's Akwa Adams, Olakule Olusegun for Paris and Nizhny Novgorod in Russia. There's Umar Sadiq, which I'm really surprised. Kelechi Iheanacho, who is doing pretty decent with Celtic right now. And there's Taiwo Awoniyi of Nottingham Forest, Victor Boniface, come on. And there's Paul Onacho, Terry Murphy, Nathan Teller of Bayern Leverkusen in Germany. There's Redeses, Abdulrashid Shehu of Niger Tornadoes, Rafi Durosimi of Victoria Plzen in Czech Republic. There's Ekesin Okore of Nassau United, Chisom Oji of Water Wolves, Chukwu Bukem Kumesi of Leuven in Belgium. There's also Philip Otel of FC Basel in Switzerland. There's Salim Fago Lawal of NK Instra in 1961 in Croatia. And there's Emmanuel Michael of Linza Athletic in SK Austria. I wonder the pretty young names we were talking about. Are these the names? Or they're not turning heads for me. A lot of attackers here. So
let's take your best 6 because yes, best 6 because we're looking at we know the regular top 3 obviously in front. Then we need other set of 3 that will be deputizing for them if anything happens. So let's go the wings.
Yeah, I think there's an omission of Moses Simon, which I think could be an error, but definitely he has to be there. Due to the fact that there's talk about him having a knock, but he will be available eventually for the competition. Only going to miss the friendly against Egypt that was on the 14th of December. Ademola Lookman definitely is going to be there, number 1, because he's on form at the moment. I think I'm excited. He decided to pick form at the right time. And there's Samuel Chukwueze who's also on form, playing for Fulham. Victor Osimhen, unavoidably, he has no choice. Even if he doesn't want to come, they will drag him eventually to Morocco, even if he has to take a rope to do that. Of course, Moses Simon, Chidera Ejuke. Okay, I think I saw some bit of in the World Cup qualifiers. Yeah. If we have that addition, there's Tolu Arokodare, then Akko Adams, and maybe a Seredesas. Yeah, that's it for me. Yeah.
So that's exactly the team you're expecting to actually eventually make it.
Then Paul Onuachu might also be having a shout too. Yeah, because I think we just named about 7 of them. So Paul Onuachu makes it 8. Yeah, I think that's good for me.
Eight attackers, wouldn't that upset the balance? Because I mean, the attack has really not been our problem. I think our problem at this point, because of the age and the fragility in the defense, I think we should actually add more bodies in the defense.
I think the attack. Why players like Ademola Lookman for me? Samuel Chukwueze might even join the midfield eventually. For me, if I'm the one making the decisions, then they can switch whether playing from the right or playing in the 10th position. That is if Alex Iwobi maybe picks an injury or is not giving me what I expect him to give me. I'll have to draw Samuel Chukwueze to the number 10 role. Then Ademola Lookman can play left or right, which is a utility player, same as Moses Simon, but mostly effective playing from the left. Then I'm good with that. Then Victor Osimhen, unarguably, is going to be the center forward. And now, who is now going to be his sub? Maybe, I think Tolu, he has not really convinced me. He's not on form at the moment in terms of scoring in front of goal. Then Paul Onuachu, someone who can maybe come in and give us some bit of goals. Then Akko Adams. Tolu, Akko Adams, Victor Osimhen up there. Then for that right, from that right, if there's no Samuel Chukwueze playing there, who's going to play there? That means I might be going for Ademola Lookman. But Ademola Lookman has proven that he's not comfortable. Whenever he plays to the right, sometimes he mostly still runs to the left and runs behind the striker, which is very dangerous. Then that's where a player like Nathan Teller comes in. Yeah, maybe add a Nathan Teller because he can also play in the right wing, which is also, he can make crosses, he can make a lot of damages. He's not afraid to put his leg into the balls and so on and so forth. Then that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot.
But let's look at how Eric Chell has deployed this team all through the qualifying phase. We saw the Super Eagles play mostly as 4-4-2. We didn't really see the 4-3-3 style. So perhaps that's going to be his style going to this particular championship, which means we're going to be playing flat, right? And then we're having, the wingers as the creator-in-chief. And then it means that Iwobi and, whoever it is that's going to be playing in midfield, could be in the D, right? Both of them will be playing so deep. Now, if that happens, if that's the case, what's going to be, your peak? Because now we're definitely going to look at the players that are going to be fitting into that particular mood. Because we will just describe a 4-3-3 system now. So let's look at what is going to happen if Eric Chell decides to actually play the 4-4-2. Which are the kind of players that will fit into that particular mood?
Yeah, if he's going to go for a 4-4-2, that means it might be a situation where there will be a diamond style where there will be only one major defensive midfielder. That's Wilfred in the D.
Yeah.
Then play 2 wing backs and play a 10. Then if you are playing 2 wing backs, that means I would fancy a situation where Samuel Chukwueze will play from the right because he can also drop to the 10 or play an assist striker. Then maybe Osimhen and Akko Adams have proven that they've been a good partnership. Akko Adams is ready to lay low and let Victor Osimhen shine, then pick up the crumbs whenever they come. Then Akko Adams is good to go because Paul Onuachu playing alongside is going to be difficult. Seredesas has not been tested to do that. Then Paul Onuachu definitely is not going to be comfortable with another tall striker like for like. There might be conflicts amongst the both of them. Then Akko Adams, Samuel Chukwueze, Moses Simon playing from the left, and Samuel Chukwueze playing right. Those two can also deploy and play from the middle and assist Iwobi. I don't want a situation where Iwobi will be lonely in midfield. I think Eric Chell needs to drive that in. It's not only he shouldn't play one number 10. A lot of players like Ademola Lookman, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, they should also be thinking like a number 10 as well as they're also wingers. You can run to the flank, cross the ball, you can come to the midfield, assist Iwobi in making sure that you distribute the passes to Victor Osimhen and Akko Adams. Then we will not be short of supply going forward and even the goals eventually.
That's what made the Super Eagles, special in the days where we like have the likes of JJ. There's an Amunike who's quite very skillful coming to the midfield. Join play. There's an Amokachi. There's also a certain Finidi George. These guys are actually ball players. They are quite crafty, and of course they can actually create a lot of chances. But still talking about the Afcon, and then let's move away from Nigerian. Let's talk about what's happening in Cameroon. There seems to be some drama in the list of the Cameroon Football Federation, where the likes of Andre Nana, the one who you call Manchester United legend, and of course Abubakar, who is obviously a legend at this point for the Cameroon national team. The both of them will be missing out after the playoff. And not only that, of course, you'll recall that there's also an incident with the backroom staff, who one of them was kicked out. What's really happening? How much of this incident is going to really affect Cameroon and, of course, the championship in Morocco generally?
Yeah, Cameroon did not make it to the World Cup, and a lot of Cameroonians are not happy with the setup of the team. They blame players like Andre Onana, and let's not forget what happened in the last Afcon, where he came in the middle of the competition, had a shout out with Rigobert Song, even had a fallout with Eto'o Fields, who is a legend and current president of FECAFOOT, which is the Federation for Cameroon Football Administration. So he's been having a lot of problems. He's long coming, and I was even surprised he was still making the World Cup qualifiers. And I think this was a big opportunity for the coach as well, most especially Eto'o Fields, to push him out. But it's unfair because at Trabzonspor right now, he's currently on form. He's doing well for himself. He deserves to be at the Afcon, but will he send a bad message like what he did at the last Afcon when he came in late, started causing rancor and so on and so forth? They don't want to see themselves in such a situation. And Onana didn't really help himself out. He did a lot of bad PR. He believing he has arrived, that he is bigger than the national team, which is really, really a very, very bad situation to put yourself, because had it been the team has qualified for the World Cup, I'm telling you, Onana would have made it to this Afcon. He would have comfortably given it a shout that, okay, with my form and everything, I was able to help the team qualify for the World Cup. Definitely, Eto'o Fields, whatever issues he has with him, you have to bury it, and maybe be nice to invite him to be on the number one. But now they not qualify for the World Cup. They want to send a message that they need a breath of fresh air. Definitely, and Onana will be an easy pick to throw under the bus, because definitely he has definitely not covered himself in good clothing. Then for the issue of Abubakar, I think Cameroon is trying to look at the future. Abubakar is already old. He's not in the top leagues anymore. Back then, I think the biggest club he played for before now was Porto. Yeah. And Porto had to push him out, I think, to bring in another younger player. And I think his time is already up. But I will not lie to you, Vincent Abubakar is a striker that will give you something different. He's fit for African football. His style of play, and of course, he has a lot of experience. I would have loved him to at least have one more shot since he's still playing active football.
I was coming there because I was about saying that, championships is all about mixing a perfect blend of age and youth. And Abubakar would definitely be bringing something very special. But this axe that fell on this Cameroonian national team now didn't just hit the players. It also, got the manager sacked, talking about Mark Brees. And of course, the assistant coach, David Pagyu, actually took over the job.
You see, even the minister of sports in Cameroon was in favor of Mark Brees. It's against Eto'o. And let's not forget, Eto'o just won the second term in the Cameroon Football Federation. So he's trying to make a lot of changes that shows that he's now in charge. Because I think he was pretty well afraid of the next election, and a lot of issues he had with rancor and so on. And he's trying to take away those he feels are not going to give him build a foundation that he's trying to set up again for the Cameroon national team. And with the future of the team, the likes of Abubakar, who has been the captain of the side, it's time to tell him, okay, take a rest. I've taken a look at that list. I thought maybe there was a mistake. Anguissa is not on the list.
Anguissa was not even part of the playoffs.
Yeah, so I'm really shocked. So there's something going on. So I think maybe there are some ringleaders in the team that Eto'o is trying to push out. How come Anguissa is not on that list? That's a big surprise.
But we also...
You said Abubakar is understandable that he's aging. Then Andre Onana, I know there's a history between him and Eto'o and his bad behavior.
But Jerry, we can also agree that Anguissa is actually not the same player we saw last season. He's also been struggling with injuries and form.
Yeah,
But now the question is, you're bringing in a new manager in the eve of, a major tournament, Afcon. What does this say to Cameroon football? Because I don't know if Nigeria needs to actually learn something from this. Because I mean, a lot of people would have been expecting that our team gets overhauled. Is this the right move from the Feka Foot as under Samuel Eto'o after they missed out, or just some unnecessary power play that like you rightly said, that Eto'o is trying to establish himself as the new sheriff in town?
Yeah, the thing is that one thing I understood about African football is like when there's some kind of shocks and changes, you tend to see Africans move by last-minute decisions. They even do better when they make last-minute decisions than when they prepare for so long. That being said, let's look at what happened.
You are encouraging fire brigade approach.
That's how Africans have stationed themselves to behave. Look at what happened to Cote d'Ivoire. They hosted the last Afcon. In the middle of the competition, they started forming that after the first 2 games. They brought in a Masife. I would thought that it was going to be disaster waiting. And Masife went on to win the Afcon, beating Nigeria in the final. So what says Cameroon?
But the Masife has also been doing very well. They topped their group in the World Cup qualifier.
That shows that fire brigade approach has come out to pay them. And maybe Cameroon is looking like, okay, this man has failed to qualify for the World Cup. Let's not elongate a tenure of another failure. Let's just make the decision.
If you are
hammer this guy.
If you are taking him out, why don't you just take his backroom staff out? I mean, why appoint his assistant?
Yeah, appointing his assistant shows that they are trying to send a message that they will not be taking nonsense. And the man will know that his job will be on and they can sack him anytime as well. Making him the coach as an assistant shows that they are expecting him to do far better than what his predecessor did. But I think that's also like doing almost the same thing. But somehow, maybe Eto'o feels that the assistant has gone back to pitch himself, that he would have done it differently. And they decide that they should keep him. And of course, hopefully, with that urgency and all the shocks that we put to the team, the other players will sit up and know that no more stories. We didn't qualify for the World Cup, and the last Afcon was very woeful. Let's go out there and make Cameroon proud.
So from where you stand now, looking at the Cameroon team you saw against DR Congo and, of course, all through the qualifiers, do you think they can actually make it as far as in the finals?
It is that I will not look at them that way anymore because now there's a new coach on board. Okay. There are some players have.
But let's look at the quality.
Yeah, the quality on paper, Cameroon anytime, they always favorites going to the Afcon because they have the pedigree. They've won countless numbers of Afcon. I think they are behind just Egypt as far as the number of trophies is concerned when it comes to the Afcon. So if you look at that for a retrospect, you have to give Cameroon all the due respect. Mbeumo is doing currently okay with Manchester United, who will also be a Manchester legend very soon, if history permits. But take a look at that. I see a lot of young players. And of course, Baleba for Brighton. I saw him on the list. That's also a very
it was
bright
part of
talent.
the
qualifiers. So if the coach implements
he's the one taking Anguissa's space.
Yeah, so there are a lot of young players in that team. It means that they are going there with fresh blood, who will be hungry, with a coach who has something to prove. So you must give Cameroon the nod that they will be favorites going into this competition.
All right, still talking about AFCON, and this time the manager of Liverpool, Arne Slot, has revealed that Mo Salah will be part of the Egyptian side come December 15, a day after the friendly game against the Super Eagles. Jerry, is this a good news for African football? Because trust me, I don't think it's right for a player of Salah's caliber to be coming late to a championship like this. But let's first talk about the fact that he's going to be leaving Liverpool. How much of a miss is it going to be?
Yeah, for Egypt, I think even if Salah comes a day before the competition, before their first game, he will still give you what he will give you. He's still a top player and very experienced.
But team synergy.
Yeah, he's very experienced as far as playing for Egypt is concerned, playing the Afcon. But if you look at Mo Salah right now, he's not on the in goal scoring form. The goals have suddenly run dry this season, and I think the Slot is just trying to save face and just keep him around. Because if you ask me, I think they should let him go go to the Afcon even tomorrow morning, so that he will go and have a breath of fresh air, relax, change the terrain, breathe in the African air, then play the Afcon, see if he can get into the goals. Then he will come back a freshman when he comes back to the club side, because Salah needs a new environment. He looks like I
look lost.
He looks lost. He looks like the will to play is no longer there. I know his closeness to Diogo Jota, and sometimes I've come to think about it. Even some of the players at Liverpool would have thought, like, what if it were me today? That means I will not be here playing, hearing this sound. I will be gone. My family will be thinking about me because something happened to me. And that has happened to a similar player, someone they've been seeing playing together with. Is no more. It's not coming back. It's not like he moved to the next club that you can call him. Like Trent, he's playing for Madrid. I can call him, do a video call. Trent, imagine we beat you last week, but you can't do that to this same Diogo Jota. So it's I don't know. The players need a new psychic, and I think Slot should have let him go on time to at least have a breath of fresh air. But they're not thinking across that lines. They're trying to keep him as much as possible because they have games to play. Maybe Salah can add some goals when he's angry because he's playing on the bench at the moment. Maybe that's the tactics they're trying to deploy. But I see no reason why keeping Salah. Let him go and play for you.
So your verdict is not going to be a big miss for Liverpool if he goes for Afcon?
Even right now, they're not missing him. Because the last game against West Ham, he was on the bench all through. All the games he has been playing, he has not been adding goals of late, which is pretty sad due to the fact that he was the best player last season in the Premier League. His goals contributed to the reason why Liverpool won the Prem, and now he's not giving those goals. I think they're not going to miss him. They will surely even want him to get a new breath of fresh air and maybe return back in January and see what he will be able to bring to the table at the end of the
season. So let's talk about Egypt, the most decorated side in African football. Al Ahly, the Real Madrid of African football, the Egyptian national team, obviously the Real Madrid, of course, of Afcon. Now Salah is back, the Prince of Egypt. Call him the King of Egypt, whatever it is you call him. Is definitely going to be an addition to that particular squad. You see Egypt going as far as winning this particular championship?
Yeah, no, because
Omar Mamouche?
Yeah, Mamouche. Even Man City is going to keep him too for as much as they want. Maybe 5 days to the competition, he will going to play as much as the same thing that is happening to Salah at the moment. So, but apart from Mamouche and Salah, let's look at the last Afcon. We saw an Egypt side that was lost. They had no pattern, no spirit, no life in that team, no will or desire to go as far as winning the competition. Some players tried to put in their work, but even at that time, Salah was still a very, very interesting form, but he was not able to replicate that at the Afcon. So, and a lot of opposition will surely put much effort on making sure that they keep Salah quiet. For Egypt, I don't know, maybe they can find a way around to bring in some other young players who can add some flair, because I think they're talking about their club football back home. They have a lot of clubs who are doing well. Bringing more of those young players into the team and maybe make a Salah an OG, kind of maybe go and play in the 10th position where he'll be feeding the attackers. Of course, Salah has proven that he's not that nice when he's not scoring. When he's scoring, he's willing to assist. Yeah, he's an assist maker. If the coach can plant in him, please, I want you to be the king of assist for this team. Be crucial to assisting. Yeah, you can get the goals, but assist, you'll be taking all the pens when they come. Then maybe they can go as far as the semi-final. The last time Salah really put in the work, that was 2019. They lost to Senegal.
Yes, to final. Yeah.
I want to see that Egypt back again. If I can see that Egypt back again, then they will be a very big candidate to win the Afcon.
A good number of that Egyptian side that won that particular championship are actually playing back at home. Same way the Egyptian team that actually repeated the Afcon, between 2006 and 2010. I think that's the greatest African side, in every in Afcon. Three times, absolutely. And that side was so awesome. The Abu Treka era. Yes, the Abu Treka era, and they did a lot. Now, I think the problem with Egypt now is the fact that this Egyptian national team seems to be too westernized. Many of the players seems to be, coming from other parts of the world, as against what they had back in the days, where a good number of if you get to your Afcon, you see about 10 of their players from Al Ahly, and then you see that synergy, the way they play, and all of that. So, and you see them, they're very hungry, they want to prove a point. But now, you know, when you play outside the shores of Africa, the money is big. I mean, you play at the level that you understand. I think for me, I think that's more like the biggest problem, you know, with the Egyptian national team side. And
has lost the soul that he used to have, which is pure African Egyptian spirit. But I think that's also a big problem. They will have to track back and see if they can save the soul of the national team. Bring in a homegrown coach who understands the homegrown football. Go back to league. Al Ahly is still very, very, very decent.
I mean, Pyramid of Egypt is there. They are defending champion of CAF Champions League. So in their stead, you can pick players from there.
Yeah, I expect to see majority of the players coming from Pyramid and Al Ahly. Then maybe Mamouche and Salah will put some icing on the cake. If that is done and the coach is able to bring synergy into the team, I think they should be a very good candidate to win the Afcon.
Because we are actually hearing that some of the players that will be part of the Moroccan side are also some of the players of RS Berkane. And of course, you know how they actually dealt with Rivers United, you know, over the weekend.
They whipped them silly.
Of course, so they're a very good side. But let's talk about, you know, what happened in Istanbul, the Istanbul derby. This one concerned Victor Osimhen, and the head coach Domenico Tedesco actually praised his side, you know, for what they did, how they are able to actually keep Victor Osimhen at bay. My worry is not the fact that they kept Victor Osimhen at bay. My worry is the fact that Galatasaray told us Victor Osimhen will be out for 3 weeks. Just last week. Jerry. And now we saw Osimhen play Monday Night Football, and I'm happy that Osimhen is actually fit, but why the lies? Why is it, okay, so let me ask you, Jerry. Is there a step that the NFF can take as regards this? Because now you tell us our player is actually not fit. Or what should the NFF even do? Let's start from here.
You know, maybe Turkey knows how to do magic, but let me put it in this perspective. I've seen situations like this where the player is injured, but there is an option that he can play. That is if he's willing to take the risk.
Osimhen said he's going to take the risk.
The injury was some weeks back, and maybe he still has 1 week to recover or 2, and Osimhen decided to play. And if that is the case, if you decide to play and say the doctors do anything possible to make sure I'm available, I'm not happy that my club is struggling. Before I come back, they must have lost ground in terms of winning and retaining the Turkish league title. Then he will have to play through painkillers. And those painkiller injections, they have a way of telling the player eventually when it weighs out after the game. It might either prolong the recovery. Of course, remember what Gerrard played with painkiller injection. Even when he slept, he was on painkiller injection as at that period he was injured. He was not supposed to even play those games, but he wanted to play because he was committed in winning the league title, which eventually he did not win. So that should be the case. Then if that's the case, and I believe that Osimhen would have made sure that his manager is aware
Jerry,
that this is a situation where
Jerry, sorry to botch in, because Osimhen cannot take that decision without the clubs okaying that decision. Yes. Because Osimhen is arguably one of their biggest assets now, if not their biggest now.
Yeah. If he's the biggest player, you listen to him if he tells his
now they should understand that, okay, if this guy plays, he's going to actually prolong this injury for another like 6 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month.
If he aggravates it.
Which means it's a huge risk for them that I don't think they want to take.
I think if you think
because the season is still very long, Jerry.
Look at they lost to Union Saint-Gilloise in the Champions League.
The season is still long.
Yeah, Coach Klopp want to take the risk because
before
now
they
are looking at, okay, if we don't play him now, we might not have him available till February, which is also still a loss for them eventually in terms of revenue and his contribution. And of course, it's even eventually showed. Even when he played, he could not score. Osimhen fully fit and good to go. I'm not sure there are a lot of defenders who can stop him in that Turkish league from scoring. So at the end of the day, it's just like he just played for playing sake. Did not get the goals, but definitely his presence will make a lot of difference compared to when he's absent from the team.
Yeah, we've seen players time and again come out from injury just to play because they actually want to honor the badge or they want to play for the badge. And eventually, the aftermath of it is not good. I'll give you 2 examples. Ronaldo da Lima was injured prior to the France 98 World Cup. He was not even supposed to play the finals. and all of a sudden he showed up in the training ground. He told the coach he wants to play, and they understand that. I mean, the tactics was already around Giovanni Elba, to actually lead the line for that particular final. But something, I mean, Dalima is here, who want to turn him down, and then eventually Dalima had to play, and from then onwards, if you recall, after that championship, he went, he was struggling back and forth to injury, and he went till Korea, Japan. The same thing happened to the former Barcelona defender who has retired now, Umtiti. He wasn't supposed to be part of the 2018 championship that France won, that World Cup. He was injured. He decided to actually go. He did everything, took the risk, and then... So, I don't think this is actually good for Osimhen. It's also not good for Galatasaray, because if you look at it, even for the Super Eagles, now, Osimhen is over 27, or say, let's say 26, 27. And the player at this level, injuries, they don't get to heal quick. They don't get to heal quick. So why will you put...
Maybe from 38, 40, then you can ask that one. That is, if it's actually 26, 27, then the injuries will still heal. Still, you see in a fair age grade to still recover. But with that being said, I think we should cut them some slack. They've done a lot to keep Osimhen and make him happy. And Osimhen is happy at the club side. That's how Osimhen is. He gives his soul, body, tears and blood for anybody he feels comfortable to play for, and that is what he's doing for Galatasaray right now. My only prayer is that he'll be available for the Afcon, because Nigerians would like to see him banging in the goals, because he will be one of the top players to look forward to at the Afcon, because what was an Afcon without a Victor Osimhen?
Absolutely, and from there onwards, we'll definitely be moving straight to the APL. Match day 14, Jerry. Haaland looking for his 100 Premier League goal, and it's going to be a lot of, excitement right there at the Cottage. Manchester City against Fulham. The likes of Alex Iwobi, will be on guard. Calvin Bassey, Samuel Chukwueze will get, hopefully get to see what's going to be bringing into that particular game. I mean, Manchester City, they came back after that, painful loss against Newcastle. Do you see them picking all 3 points right there at the Cottage?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Craven Cottage has been a fortress of late, and they were 1-0 down over the weekend, courtesy of a stupid assist from the defender. And I could see that when they considered that goal, they had confidence that they were still going to recover and win that game. Alex Iwobi was consoling the defender. I think it was Josh King, if that's his name. That's the name of the defender that made the wrong assist. And they went ahead to win 3-1. And of course, Samuel Chukwueze was man of the match for that game. They are currently on form. I feel for Man City right now. I don't know how. Foden
is already in good shape. Haaland is. I mean, Fulham is a side.
For me,
he's played Fulham 6 times. He scored 6 goals.
Foden's goal last time is still a flash in the pan for me. I need him to maintain his streak of goal scoring. Then I'll know that Foden is back. He has been disappointing in terms of the form we saw 3 seasons back. He has not really brought a lot to the table. When Haaland doesn't score, the goals dries up for Man City. And of course, for Erling Haaland, he will have to work very hard to convince us that he can beat off Calvin Bassey's defense, because Calvin Bassey is also on form at the moment. So Erling Haaland has a lot of work cut out for him playing against the Man City, Fulham side that is currently on form. So I fancy Fulham picking this one somehow. I somehow fancy Fulham winning this game.
All 3 points at the Cottage.
Yes, at Craven Cottage. Yeah.
Interesting. So the game between Bournemouth and Everton.
Yeah, Bournemouth is really, really woeful now. Since Semenyo has decided to go off cycle, because his attention is now shifted towards club sides who are interested in. We've heard about Liverpool. Man City has seriously made a beat that they're interested in him. And we've even heard about Manchester United has even seen his agent. So he's been distracted. And since Semenyo got distracted, Bournemouth goals dried up. They've been out of form. Then for Everton, it's like they pick games to win. When they see big teams like Manchester United, when they see small teams like Manchester United, they wake up. And when they see big teams, they fold. But we saw what happened to the Newcastle United, perplexed them on the back of after beating Manchester United. I thought they are back. But you want to give it to their coach, David Moyes. He understands the league very well. I think Everton is going to get this one against Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Yeah, Everton wins away from home.
Yeah, Everton beating Bournemouth away from home.
And you believe City will lose
to Fulham?
That's a side that City has always... I mean, the last 6 games, Alan tore them apart.
It's going to be a different kettle of fish this time.
Just different kettle of fish?
Yeah.
Okay, so the big one tonight, Newcastle against Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, Newcastle all the way, because Newcastle has proven to be a team that can beat big teams. For Tottenham, I don't know what Frank is doing.
Is Tottenham, by all standard this season, is Tottenham a big team?
No, Tottenham is just a team trying to pull their weight.
Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to see what they can.
So which means they don't fall in that category that Newcastle will beat?
No. And no, they fall in the category that Newcastle can beat them. Definitely. They fall in that category very well because they pick games to show up. And for a team that wants to be consistent or play Champions League,
but
they are not looking like a team that is ready to play Champions League. Like they are settling already to position themselves to play Europa League next season. They are seeing that Champions League is more or less a big competition for them. They're not really pulling their weight among the big boys. Look at how they faltered against Arsenal. They were trying to play Arsenal one-on-one. Come on.
Arsenal is arguably the best side in Europe this season. So you expect Arsenal to take them out.
Defensively, they are very poor.
They defeated City.
Yeah, they
2-0 at the Etihad.
Tottenham, right?
Yes.
Tottenham, Man City, they're almost on the same category. They pick games this season. They pick games.
But Man City is second behind Arsenal.
Man City is second
just with
because
5
of
points.
Guardiola, and they still have a lot of top players in that team. If Man City doesn't have the top players that Tottenham does not have, if they are on the same category with Tottenham in terms of quality of players, I bet you they will even be in the 15th position on the table. But just because they have Guardiola, they have the likes of Erling Haaland, who started very well this season. The likes of Foden decided to show up when he decides to. Then that is why they are where they are, talking about Manchester City. But that being said, I think they are like for Tottenham. They fumble and wobble and they can be beaten by any team who is serious. For Newcastle United, I see them beating Tottenham tonight.
Newcastle will be playing at home, so maybe that's exactly why you're looking at it right there at the St. James Park. So what's going to be the scoreline for that particular one?
Yeah, Newcastle to run away by 4-1. Then Kudus getting a goal.
Jerry, 4-1. Yeah. Newcastle doesn't even look like a side that can score more than 2 goals.
Oh, let's not forget how they dealt with Everton. They pummeled Everton. And last week they won in the Champions League. Yeah, they are on fire. They're on form. So, they lost to Marseille away by 3-1.
Yes.
So, but on the league front, they're doing well. Even last weekend.
But Thomas Frank is a very brilliant manager, and he plays almost the same way, the service sets of his side. So, it's going to be a reflection of what happened over the weekend against Marseille.
Tottenham winning this one is a no for me. Newcastle is going to get it. Yeah.
All right, I'll say Jerry Apello High said Tottenham winning this one for me is a no, and that's exactly where we'll be wrapping up today's episode of The Locker Room of Voice of the People TV. And of course, if you are a lover of politics, stick around, don't go nowhere, because Chukwuma Okoro will be here to take us through the world of politics. And of course, the show is Political Lens. My name is Ikechukwu Agu. Have a nice day.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukwuma and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Welcome to the Locker Room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Apello. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, Leave it with us. Catch us on the Locker Room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, with the sport.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the Atlas.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to